How do you want to look, feel, and perform? What does that feel like in the sense of how do we frame that?
A lot of people have this idea of wanting to look and feel really good, but it's a blurry idea because how do you get to that point? And it's overwhelming.
It is. And so we want to use this analogy to help you focus and get some clarity around your idea about what health means to you. And so we came up with this idea of using a tree.
It's a wonderful analogy because of all the parts. So let's start with the roots because that's the foundation. They are guiding principles because they grow down and root us into the foundation of our being.
And
right?
so we've got 5. And the first is to eat real food. And let's just define that real quick.
Yeah, food that your great-great-great-grandparents would recognize as food.
Yeah, stuff you pick off a tree and pull out of the ground, things that are walking around or swimming around.
Using the 80-20 rule, and that's 80%, 20%, 80% eating real foods and keeping your guiding principle as to eating really well and nutrient-dense foods. And the 20% are the times that you necessarily can't because of your situation, whether you're at a celebration or you're traveling or you're just in a compromised situation where your choices are limited.
And then number 3 is the whole idea of our mind, our heart, and our body, the body being our gut, being in alignment. We're a society where we do a lot of thinking and we spend a lot of time in our mind and we don't often honor our hearts and body's messages and needs. And they're both talking to us all the time and we don't necessarily listen internally. And when that mind, heart, and body are in alignment, we show up looking, feeling, and performing better.
Another idea is that baby steps or small steps add up into big results, and that you need to concentrate more on the smaller steps instead of the big result because it gets overwhelming. So everything starts small, and that's okay.
Exactly. And small steps done consistently over time gives big results. The next one we wanted to talk about is everyone listening to this or watching this is a unique individual. We're all different, and so we all might need something a little bit different. We're really good examples of that.
That's right. We have very different bodies and needs, and what you eat or what you do for movement is very different from what I eat and what I need to do for movement. Same as far as sleep. You need less sleep or more sleep than I do, so it's different. Everybody has their very own formula.
Yeah. And our job is to help you figure that out.
So now that we're grounded with our roots, let's grow this tremendous, strong trunk. The trunk of the tree is really the biggest part of the tree, and it's the most defining part of the tree. It's our commitment into growing these beautiful branches that we'll be talking about next.
Yeah, and without that commitment, without that solidness of the commitment,
where are we? We don't grow branches or leaves if we don't have that trunk.
So then we reach up into the branches.
This is our philosophy at Nourish, what we call our 5 pillars, but for this exercise, they're branches of the tree.
And the first one is nutrition, nutrient density that we put in our bodies.
And the second one is sleep. We all need a magic number of sleep, like 7 or 8 hours or whatever it is, and if we get less, we don't feel, look, perform the way we need to.
The third one is movement. We were designed to move, and we need to do more of it in our society.
The fourth one is stress in any way it is, whether it's how we react to stress or how we don't react to stress.
The next one is connection, and we as people thrive on being in community.
Really building really strong connections with other people as we are social beings.
So we've gone through the roots, we've addressed the trunk of commitment, and we've looked at our branches. Now, what are these leaves? What are we going to decorate this tree with?
And this is where you come in to decorate your own leaves because all of the leaves will be very personal.
And these are your action items. This is what happens when we feed our body with sleep and nutrition and movement and mindfulness and connection with others. So let's look at nutrition first. And these are our food choices. One leaf might say, add in more vegetables.
Another leaf might say, drink more water.
For sleep, a couple of leaf ideas are maybe creating a ritual before you go to bed of reading a book instead of being on a screen. Maybe it's adding some essential oils to help support a transition to going to sleep.
And perhaps it's just simply a number and knowing your magic number. For movement, perhaps it is giving your dog an extra walk.
Maybe it's actually going to the gym that you're paying your gym membership for.
Maybe it's as lofty as running that 5K or that marathon.
So let's look at the stress branch. Maybe one of your leaves for stress is to wake up and do some mindful practices. Maybe it's just 30 seconds of meditation. Maybe it's 2 minutes.
Maybe it's deep breathing. Maybe it's positive thoughts in a negative situation.
Maybe it's recognizing our reactions to other people's emotions.
For connection, a couple leaves may be joining that book group.
It might be saying no to something that really doesn't feed you.
Maybe it's gathering family together for Sunday night dinners. Maybe it's finding a walking partner. And you can see how these leaves kind of overlap with the other leaves.
That's right. So the leaves are the unique pieces, but those are your action items.
And they're reaching towards the sky, as leaves do. And your sky is your own personal idea of what is the best form of you. And we're using the word vibrancy.
Yeah, we love the word vibrancy. It has so much freedom to it. It has a flow to it. And it has kind of this expansive feeling to it, like the sky.
So if all these leaves reach up, then you will achieve this feeling. And that's the ultimate goal.